Hello guys, mabuhay! Welcome back again to my video reaction and to my channel guys. Thank you for the people who supporting and like and subscribe in my video reaction guys. Thank you very much. And for those who still not subscribed, please like and subscribe in my video reaction and to my channel guys. Thank you very much for the supporting everyone. And you can also follow me in my Instagram guys. Thank you very much in advance guys. So further ado, let's watch and enjoy the video.
People have done some crazy things that were considered completely normal, though we would never even consider doing them today. Have you ever thought about mailing your baby to grandma's house for the weekend? I'm sure we all have. But many years ago, people actually did it, and it was perfectly normal and legal. But before we jump into it, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more amazing videos. Let's get started. Sending children through the post. Let's start off with something truly bizarre. Back when the Swiss Post began to send parcels, people began to wonder what sorts of strange things they could mail and get away with it. Some parents even thought about mailing their own children. Around this time, the Swiss Post was considered one of the greatest ways to ship goods. They had begun to step on the toes of many small businesses when they began offering parcel delivery, allowing you to ship whatever you could imagine. Some parents wanted to not only send their packages through the mail, but also their children. There were many headlines about this at the time. A great example is when a young couple sent their 8-month-old son through the mail to visit his grandmother. The child weighed just 5 kilograms, so he was considered a lightweight package. If that shocks you, imagine this: the shipment only cost 15 cents. Even more disturbing is that the parents purchased insurance for the child's life for just 50 cents. We couldn't imagine shipping a child these days, but that was totally normal back then. Cigarette advertisements.
That's so very bizarre, and that's, oh my god, it shocked me. It's first time I heard that one. How can you package a baby? That's a baby, that's a human being. That's not a thing. That is not a rice cooker. That is not an oven. That is not a paper. That is not lights or bulb or anything else. It's not like a dress. That is a human baby, and you just make it package and give it your baby into other people, to a stranger like that, and it's only cost by 50 cents. And what call this one, the insurance is only 50 cents. Are you kidding me? That's so illegalized, but before it's legal. I'm glad that it's not happening now, because if it's still happening now, that's a very bizarre, and that's mind-boggling, and that's so sad. That is a human being. That is not a living object, you know?
These days, we do our best to keep cigarettes out of the hands of young people and children. It's hard to turn on the television without seeing anti-nicotine ads pop up from time to time. However, just a few decades ago, this wasn't the case. Cigarette advertisements were one of the most profitable forms of advertisement. Back then, it wouldn't be strange to see advertisements that claimed to show the benefits of smoking. Some ads even showed mothers smoking while holding their babies. If this were to happen these days, there would be an outcry from the furthest corners of the world calling for the ads to be removed. Smoking was shockingly normal back then, and no one thought anything of it. Obviously, the times are changing, and cigarettes are becoming less common. But get this, just a few decades ago, Many advertisements were specifically targeted toward
Are
children.
you
Camel's
kidding me?
use of a mascot is believed to be one of the most blatant children's cigarette advertisements ever made. I don't know about you, but I'm developing a cough just looking at all these cigarette ads. Gross.
Is he okay?
It looks like you're seeing that the cigarette looks like a candy. It looks like a soft drinks or just a juice. And advertising like that. And there's a mother carrying a baby and smoking, while carrying the baby. Oh my God, that's so bizarre and that's so sad and that's so inappropriate. You know, even the pregnant woman taking a cigarette. You know, yeah, you can take cigarette, but if you are a pregnant, there's a baby with you, don't do that. You know, you can make cigarette, but in moderation. I'm not saying it's good, but it's so bad in health, and there's no any benefits of smoking a cigarette. I'm not saying people are people smoking are bad people or people are doing smoking doing things that they want. Maybe they have reason that they are doing smoking, or some just people addicted in smoking cigarette. But there's no any benefits. Your lungs getting burned, and people I meet some people. I have some friends that they're smoking time to time. That it's not so good for you. You can smoke and drink, but in moderation, guys.
The Human Zoo. The Human Zoo may sound utterly
Are you
disturbing,
kidding?
but this was a very real occurrence between 1870 and 1940. Human zoo exhibits were popular across Europe at this time, and the goal was to show off people of many different nationalities, skin colors, hair colors, and ethnicities. Some of these exhibits would showcase over 100 people at a time, and thousands of people would gather from the nearby cities to buy tickets. Could you imagine? While some of these people were paid for their time, such as the people who were caged during freak shows, many of them were kept against their will. It has been said that some of these people were forced to fight one another to the death, all for the sake of entertainment. These days, we understand a whole lot more about human rights, and I like to think that we all do our best to treat each other equally. Times were different back then, and I don't know about you, but I'm glad
We're interfering with advertising, guys.
to live in modern times. These days, we just have to worry about getting cut in line at the grocery store. Imagine fearing that you'd be captured and displayed in a human zoo. Ugh. Gilbert U230.
Human zoo. What do you think of human? And animals? They're still human. They have feelings. Some people they don't want to be there against their will. So don't force people doing like that. And don't do to the people that they're fighting each other until their death. And it's just entertainment for other people. It's so bizarre and so sad. Early times before, you know, people doing advantage from other people, making them slave, making them forced to work and do these things that they don't want and against their will. You know, it's so very sad. So I hope nowadays it will not happening even from other sides of this world. We have peace and love each other, guys. Even any kind of religion, color, and belief you have to respect each other and love each other, whatever you are.
38 lab set. The Gilbert U238 was a small lab set that was designed to teach children about science and atomic energy. This toy was designed during the infamous era of the atomic bomb. These days, we would fear being blown up by such a thing. However, in America and other countries throughout the 1950s, people embraced the idea of such a thing. There were atomic bomb hairstyles, cakes, toys, and so much more. The Gilbert toy set was released sometime between 1951 and 1952 and would give kids access to highly radioactive chemicals. Kids could examine dangerous substances such as uranium, as well as radioactive powder. Bear in mind, we didn't understand how harmful radiation could be back then. But what could have been going through the minds of parents that purchased this kit for their children? I certainly wouldn't want my child learning how to create an atomic bomb at that age, or any age for that matter. Coca-Cola and cocaine.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Why the parents allowing and buying that toys from their child? Their child is innocent mind that they don't know that things how to work, but they're just buying it, and the child understand how to do that thing, and it's so dangerous. That's a child, you know. There's a radiation, and they're making an atomic bomb. You're looks like teaching your child to be a criminal or making danger to himself by exposing with radiation. Oh my god, how the minds of the parents thinking to buy that suck things to their children.
You knew we'd end up here, didn't you? This is one of the most well-known facts in the modern world. Coca-Cola used to contain real cocaine. How else do you think it would give you that massive burst of energy? Coca-Cola is just as popular today as it was over 100 years ago. Drinks like this are known for being one of the leading causes of diabetes and obesity. Yet, we still drink these sugary beverages as much as we drink water. It has been said that when Coca-Cola originally hit store shelves, it contained as much as 250 milligrams of cocaine, as well as tons of caffeine. By the 1940s, cocaine was banned. There were reports of people falling ill from drinking the beverage, and at least 13 people lost their lives from an overdose. These days, the recipe has seen a major change, and the drink is far different than it once was. There's no longer cocaine in Coca-Cola, though there is a ton of caffeine. So the next time you're thinking about drinking coffee as an afternoon pick-me-up, maybe reach for the sweet, refreshing taste of Coca-Cola. Bayer's heroin.
Drinking Coca-Cola or any soft drinks, you shall take care of yourself because there's a lot of caffeine of that soft drinks. And as you can see, they're putting cocaine before in the Coca-Cola. Looks like they're making it so can people been addicted in that beverage, that kind of beverage of Coca-Cola. So it thanks God that it's been banned before and it's been finished now, and but the replacement is there's a lot of cocaine, so you a lot of caffeine of Coca-Cola, so you have to drink moderately of Coca-Cola, not time to time that you are drinking Coca-Cola. You should have moderation.
I may not want to believe this, but Bayer, the #1 seller of aspirin and other over-the-counter medications, once sold heroin. Back in these days, heroin was touted as being the remedy for virtually any bodily inconvenience you could imagine. It could treat a headache, muscle pain, bronchitis, and so much more. But most of all, it could help you sleep. This drug was everywhere, and many parents would put their children to bed with cough syrup that had been mixed with heroin. Problems began to arise when we found out that the medication was highly addictive. It didn't take long for it to be banned in the United States and other countries. And these days, you cannot even manufacture the drug without being sent to federal prison. This may seem baffling to us these days, but heroin was once one of the most popular over-the-counter medications on the market. Forget Tylenol or Advil. Pop a pill of heroin and you'll be good as new. We're obviously being sarcastic here. This drug led to serious issues for many people, and we don't know for sure, but it's expected that hundreds of thousands of people likely passed away due to overdosing on the drug unintentionally. Hysteria.
What is heroin? It looks like same as cocaine. It's so very addictive, and you don't have to give that to your children, to your kids. You can take it. I'm not saying you have to take it heroin. No, it's illegal now. But before, they're making it look like medicine. I know some, even today, marijuana are now legalized in some other countries and in medication, But some people are abusing. They're making it for their personal purposes. So you have to take care. Mostly don't give it to your children, please. And a child body is just still developing their body. They're not like them as adults that we're body. We know our body, how to control our body, but the children is so vulnerable, and if you give it to them like that, and what will be the effect for them?
About 100 years ago, hysteria was considered both a physical and mental ailment. We didn't have the knowledge we have today about our mental well-being and various mental illnesses. Rather, women who were experiencing anxiety or other issues would be prescribed something that will knock their socks off: masturbation. If a woman ever went to a doctor for hysteria, the doctor would most likely tell her to
Are you kidding?
masturbate to calm her nerves. These days, we obviously know this is a load of garbage, but hey, it usually works, right?
What?
Baby cages.
Are you kidding me? You're going if a woman depressed or stressed and going to the hospital, they're suggesting the woman to masturbate, and the stress will getting out, and they will depressed or will be gone. No, I don't know. Maybe some people doing like that to release their depression under stress, but there's another way. There's a lot of option. You can go stress eating. You can go travel anywhere. You can go places, forest that can calm your mind and take a breath of air. Travel anywhere, meet other people. But masturbating, I don't know, maybe it's so bizarre and it's so mind-boggling. It's so funny though, but I'm not saying it's a funny way in a bad way. It's a good way, but it's so inappropriate. You're telling a woman to masturbate to release their stress. It's so funny, but in a good way.
Try to hold your outrage until the end of this topic, because it's about to get wild. Baby cages used to exist, but not just any cages. Rather, cages that you could mount onto your window to allow your children to crawl around outside while hanging hundreds of feet above the ground. These cages were created for small families that lived in cramped apartments at the time. If you had nowhere to let your baby soak in some sun rays, you could simply place them in a cage like a bird. Doctors endorsed these cages and insisted that it helped the children grow big and strong by soaking up sun rays. Forget about the fact that you're putting your child's life in the faith of some basic metal wire and cheap screws or bolts. What were these people thinking? Tattoo head.
That's the thing. Your child is not a rabbit, it's not a dog or a cat that you're putting in a cage and outside your house, outside the window. It's so bizarre and it's so sad. Why you're doing like that so your child can take a sunrise or sun rays in their body? You can just take the baby and go outside for a few minutes, 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Go outside with your baby, carry your baby outside and under the sun. Not doing like that. You're putting your baby's life in that metal thing that you are construct. You don't know, maybe there's something defect in that thing. It's so mind-boggling and so bizarre to see like that the baby cages. What you think of the baby bird? It looks like a dog.
Collection. Many of us like to collect things, whether it be stamps, cars, toys, or something else entirely. But what if I told you that some people used to collect preserved human heads? The Mokomokai are heads of the New Zealand Maori people that have been preserved and covered with multiple tattoos. Various tribes and groups of people preserved their dead. That's not the strange part. Things get weird when you realize that these heads were bought and sold by thousands of people as valuable commodities. The trend only began to fade away sometime in the 19th century, when people began to get their heads on straight and realize that collecting human heads was weird, very weird. Back during this time period, men were known for having many tattoos that would cover their faces. Women would usually only have tattoos on their chin or lips. Each tattoo was unique and would tell a story about that person's life. During times of war, it's known that people would trade these heads in exchange for weapons or ammunition. That just shows how valuable these heads truly were. Today, we couldn't even imagine preserving someone's head and selling it. But back then it was very trendy and helped preserve the stories and lives of individuals who have since passed on. When you think of it that way, it may sound more enticing, but these days we will just archive the person's Facebook page so friends and family can scroll through their page and relive old memories. I think that's much more normal and acceptable, don't you? Garden hermits.
Yeah, it's okay to collect like that, but not the head only. You can take the body, preserve the body also in the proper tomb. In the graveyard. You can preserve that and put in some places to preserve their body, not only just head. What did you think of the human head? It looks like a collection, a teddy bear collection, or a toy collection, or animated wallpaper collection. This is human people. It's so bizarre. You can see a lot of walls in the ceiling that is heads, collecting heads. So it's so mind-boggling. It's so bizarre.
Ornamental hermits, better known as garden hermits, were people who were asked to live in small cottages that would typically be built on the property of a very wealthy person or in a public area. Hermits typically lived between the 18th and 19th centuries and would enter a special agreement with their masters to live on their land for free in exchange for following a set of rules and guidelines. One of these rules that the hermits must emerge from their homes at certain times of the day and expose themselves to sunlight and anyone from the public who may be passing by. Park owners and guests would line up to see the hermits emerge, very similar to being in a human zoo. This may seem weird, But keep in mind that this was a full-time job for these people. They were tasked with living in complete isolation and only emerging from their homes a handful of times each day. Thankfully, this lifestyle and employment were banned around 1915. So there you have it. 10 of the
Yeah, it's that is so sad. People suffering like that about their employer, even other now. In if you are working abroad and you have an employer that is in a bad attitude, not humanable or what call this one good person. Some people still suffering even until this day, but not as same as like that. Looks like there are dogs that they can just come out, and you have time to time. You have to follow their time to do like this, and they are humiliating by other people. You have to respect everyone, one of each of us. Even if you are in higher and in a lower, you should respect everyone. Even you have a lot of money, a wealthy family, you still respect your employee because they are working for you. They are just working for their family, and they're doing the right things for you people to make you proud. So they're just working. So you have to respect every employee, and you have to love them, and you have to give benefits, everything that they serve with the employee. Mostly the manners of the employer, how you handle that people, and how did you take care of that people. Okay guys, that is the end of our video reaction for today guys. Thank you for watching and joining me in my video reaction for today guys. And please don't forget to like and subscribe in my video reaction guys. And you can also follow me in my Instagram guys. Thank you very much for supporting guys. And for the word for today, an eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. Okay guys, thank you very much, and have a good day everyone, and respect everyone, and God bless. Bye.